Yeah.
So I want to talk about this next segment, but I do want to give you guys an update. So last night we had Marjorie Taylor Greene on the show. She was absolutely fantastic. And one of the things that came up was Dan Crenshaw being listed by the World Economic Forum's young global leaders thing.
Yeah, with Pete Buttigieg and Tulsi Gabbard.
Buttigieg was a different year. So I actually reached out to Dan Crenshaw, and I'll give you the gist of his statement, paraphrase. Basically, his understanding, or I should say my takeaway from what he said, is that this is an editorial list that they have nothing to do with. It's like, so I asked him, is this like Forbes 30 under 30? Like the World Economic Forum just decides these are people we think you should watch? And he was like, yes, there was no communication involved. They just put me on some list. And now he's like, people see that and they think I'm associated in some way. I think it's important that, people hear his response, because we did pull that up. And I even said, I don't know what this young global leaders thing is. Right. And if it turns out that the Davos group just like makes a list of people they're interested in, whether you realize it or not, I don't want to smear the guy over something someone else does.
And I agree with you, but why would they pick him?
Right?
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to pick Trump. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, they're not going to pick Marjorie Greene. They're not going to pick certain people. So why did they pick you? And I'm telling you what, man, my wife cannot stand him. And she just think that he is a part of the establishment. I remember, and I can't verify that unequivocally. I remember when he first came out, and I said, yeah, I like this dude. Military guy. He's bad to the bone. Missing an eye. This is the dude. And then he started, it's like they get in office and they start getting softer and softer and softer. And before you know it, they're acquiescing in this way. They're trying to be cool with these people, and they're in the middle. Right. They're not like Marjorie Greene. Like, I'm not expecting everybody to be radical, but I'm expecting you to go in there and tear stuff up. I'm expecting you to go in there and stand your ground and stand on the principles that people are asking you to stand on. You got elected because you had these campaign videos of you being an outsider coming in and serving your community, and because you were in in the military. But then you get in there and you just shrink down and you just like everybody else. And it's easy for me to talk because I'm not in politics, but like, is that what happens to you when you get into politics?
The ones that want to get
reelected. Not Marjorie
reelected.
Taylor Greene.
Yeah, she's not as concerned with getting
how long?
That was amazing.
And I love her. I met her before she ever was in politics, and I remember we were at some conference, and she was like, "I'm gonna run for office." And I remember, she was such a cool person in the fitness, but like, how long is she gonna last?
I'll tell you.
She does shows like this for a long time.
I'll tell you.
I hope so. I hope she.
The big thing for me was
it's all about the media.
She said kooky things on Facebook back in the day. She apologized for those things. I don't know if I agree with her on all of her policy positions, but when she said she went down to Congress and forced roll call votes to make all the members actually come down and have to vote on these bills, I was just like, that deserves a standing ovation.
Absolutely.
Making these people do their jobs. And I got messages from people where they were like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I'll vote for her. Because like all of her policy positions aside, if she's going there and telling all these members of Congress, get down here, vote, and do your jobs, I'll take it.
And show the constituents what you're voting for, because otherwise that would be hidden from them. So holding them account to the point where even Republicans are mad at her and Democrats are mad at her because they can't just pass through all these bills really fast, I think that's great. I think the more we have the stagnation in government, the better government we have. That's my own personal perspective. That's how I see it, because when they're arguing and fighting amongst each other, they're not trying to put government on someone else. And they've been putting a lot of government on a lot of people, and she's stopping it somewhat.
But I think she's a great example for all Americans, that if you feel the call to serve, you don't have to be some politician. You don't have to have some legacy of a political background.
And that's true for AOC as well.
I want to do this because I feel like I want to make a difference. And if you pursue it, because I remember her saying she was going to do it before she ever did it, and she pursued it and she won. And I think you're correct about AOC, even though I think she's dumber than a bag of rocks.
Well, that's not fair.
I don't want to say.
Let me say that's not fair to the bag of rocks.
Let me not disrespect rocks like that.
Ian's angered right now. You triggered anger. He has a lot of rocks in front of him.
Ancient rocks. I'm not going to disrespect them like that.